Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was just shit tweeting this guy on my iPhone how much of a bigly loser he was for opposing my travel ban. Okay, this guy though, bigly loser. Some kind of judge or something. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm the president. Uh, I'm pretty super. I'm pretty great. Don't believe me? Just go ahead and ask your friends, and if they say I'm not, tell them they're fake news. Then go ask your racist uncle. Okay. As president, I make a lot of pretty huge decisions on a lot of huge issues. Probably one of the hugest issues going on right now has to be this refugee crisis. It's pretty crazy. Uh, Let me tell you, this situation actually stinks more than this shit I just took, which, let me tell you, is saying something right now. It's not pleasant for anybody, for us, other countries, or, especially these refugees. They're in a really, really tough situation. It's really sad. Uh, a lot of people believe we should completely open our doors to these refugees and just let as many in as quickly as possible. And it just doesn't work that way. Open door policies, they do not work. Yes, it is our responsibility to help these refugees, but open door policies, they have disastrous consequences that need to be acknowledged. Uh, for instance, there's not certain homes. Like they don't have a certainty of homes when if they get here. If we take a bunch of them, no certainty of income, and there's a greater chance of a cultural divide if we let a completely unregulated enormous amount. And we'll get deeper into this. It's a pretty huge issue, but we have huge hands, right? So let's take our huge hands, our huge presidential amazing hands, and just really just dive into this issue, shall we? When you take in a massive amount of refugees through open door policies, there's a pretty high chance that a lot of them are going to get sent back. The chances are about as high as me having had contacted Russia during my campaign. So, pretty high. All right. So, countries like Germany, who were celebrated for their open door policies, are now incurring mass deportations. They can't necessitate the massive amount they took. And so they're sending them back to countries like Greece, who can't necessitate the refugees. They're a bankrupt country. They have their own issues. And so the EU is kind of playing hot potato with these refugees right now. And the refugees themselves are sick of it. They're starting to leave on their own. And they're not getting the homes they were promised. And it's a horrible thing. And so the only way to make sure that the refugees get the homes they were promised is through regulation and vetting. We need to regulate the amount of numbers, and we need to vet to make sure we're taking the best. Most argue that refugees equals more work and a better economy. This is true. This is very, very true. Uh, More people in the job force. It's more money circulating in the economy, and it's more tax dollars going to the government. Excuse me. I get a little sick every time I hear the word tax. And so these benefits, however, they don't occur with open door policies. Because with open door policies, you focus more on getting people in, you're not getting them jobs. Work permits are thrown to the wayside because they're time consuming, and you have an entire population on welfare. We're seeing this in Sweden right now. It's in many other countries, but Sweden's the one where I have my statistic. It's where I'm prepared. 494 of the 162,000 refugees Sweden took in just last year, 494 of them are the only ones working. They're the only people who were able to find jobs. And this is because the work permits were thrown to the wayside. that were seen as time-consuming, they were seen as a regulation practice, and they needed to get the people in. And because of that, they have an entire people on welfare. This isn't how we help these people. They didn't come here just to stay here. They want to work. They want to be a part of something. And it isn't how we help them ourselves. A big benefit is the economic benefit of these refugees. And we miss out on that when we focus on just getting as many of them in as possible. And so the only way we can ensure that these people are working and to give them proper work permits is through regulation. It's time consuming, it sucks, but it's what we have to do. Most of the refugees practice Islam. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. And for the first time, I can say that with 100% certainty. Islam is a good religion, like many other religions. But like many other religions, it has its issues. It has its baggage. Not to scream radicalism or terrorism. I'll save that for the rally of old white people I have on Wednesday. But there are issues with how some people choose to practice this religion. We can see this in European countries where entire Muslim communities are enforcing Sharia law upon themselves. It's ingrained in the religion, but it doesn't make it any less horrible. The law is unfair, it's discriminatory, and sometimes violent. We're seeing how it targets women, it forces burqas, it forces marriages, and if you don't follow the rules, you can get killed. They actually enforce death penalties for small religious infractions. And the governments there are struggling to stop this. They're struggling to defend against this and make sure everybody has freedoms. And in doing so, they're making huge missteps. We're seeing where Germany just proposed or attempted to propose a burqa ban. And it's horrible. It's disgusting. You can't do that because some people do choose to wear the burqa. And they're taking away people's freedoms by doing that. But in its same right, Sharia law is forcing women to wear burqas, even if those women don't choose to. If they live in that community, though, they are forced to do it. And so it's creating this cultural schism of governments trying to ensure everybody has freedom, and then Sharia, Islam, practitioners of Islam trying to ensure they can still practice their religion. And so with open door policies, these countries have only exacerbated their issue. And this issue, while not as severe here, is prevalent here. And regulation and vetting isn't going to solve the issue. Obviously not. But it will make the issue more manageable. It will make it possible for us as a country, as a people, to solve this issue at a smaller, easier level. Heavy regulation and vetting sucks. It's slow, it's sad, it's bullshit bureaucracy. But open door policies are not the better alternative. We want to help these people, we do it right. We do it properly, and we do it by the book. We want these people to stay here. We want them to be able to work here, and we want them to be free here. I personally want to promise every single one of these refugees, every single one of these things. But for me to do that, for me to ensure my promise, I have to do it through regulation and vetting. That's how we as America help. That's how we accept our responsibility and play our part. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got shit to do.